Look at it just happened. Woo! Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Yep, we're up. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hello, everybody. Hello. My name is Mrs. Robinson, and I'm super excited to be here today. I'm going to let my trustee friends here introduce themselves. We are here to talk about the Conservatory of Dance. We're super excited to be here, and we're hoping that you're watching today because you're interested in being a part of the Conservatory Dance. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over. We'll start with Gianni. Gianni, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Gianni, and I am in level 2 right now.
And somebody else.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Sandoval, and I'm in level 2 as well.
All right, anybody can go next. It doesn't have to be me. I need to go next.
Hi, my name is Tiana, and I'm in level 2. I'm going to be a senior.
Awesome, thank you.
Hi, my name is Faith Lopez. I am in level 2, and I'm going to be a senior.
Hi, my name is Kelly Albrand, and I'm also going to be, I'm going to be at level 3, and I am going to be a senior. Right? Level 3? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Miss Robinson loading for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I think we could see the chat. Hi, Alejandra Gomez.
Oh, you can see the people who are on the YouTube?
Yeah. Well, the people who comment at least. Go and there's like a little chat box if you scroll down.
Hey, can you guys hear me good? Because I feel like I'm like...
How do you do that?
You're like kind of laggy, but it's fine. It sounds normal.
I can't see anything.
Going the other way again.
Okay, should we just start with the talking points? Do you want to go first, Jenny, talking about the dance genres?
So, in the Conservatory Dance program, it offers 4 different genres, which is ballet, jazz, hip-hop, and modern.
Okay. And then also I feel like when we talk, let's, like when someone's talking, let's mute ourselves.
Okay.
And then let's go with Kelly with work experience.
Okay. So within conservatory, we don't really just dance. We also kind of are assigned into 4 groups, I believe, and that's our work experience group at the beginning of the year. And what those groups are fundraising, educational outreach, rally, and production management. I believe those are all. Can you guys clarify that? Those are it, right? Within those 4 educational outreach programs, we are assigned tasks. So we kind of lead things like the rallies. Jennifer is part of that work experience group. I don't know if she wants to kind of explain what she does in that. You want to go ahead and say a few things that you guys do in that?
So in the rally, we obviously we're part of the rally. We do like sometimes the choreography, we do the makeup, the costumes, and as well sometimes I'm you guys wearing the temperature as well, the choreograph, the temperature, and yeah, those are some of the stuff.
So what would you guys say is like the main reason why you joined the conservatory? Because I think that's all.
Robinson, I can't hear you.
Oh, thank you.
I can hear you, Miss Robinson.
What about now? Can you hear me now? So what would you guys say is the main reason that you joined the conservatory? Because I think sometimes people, they're not sure. They're always thinking like, okay, well, why should I, or why would I get involved? I'm not sure if anybody wants to take that question, but like, why would you why would you say that you entered the conservatory in the first place? Anybody? Tiana.
Well, for me, I'm a really shy person, so I wanted to like break out of my shell. And I know conservatory, like you can get further along in like each genre of dance, and performing really like built my confidence. So I really wanted to like break out of my shell and just get out of being shy.
Yeah. Maybe Kelly, tell me a little bit about what was your, because you've been with us, this will be your third year with us. So like, not only why did you join, but why have you been in the conservatory for so long?
Yeah, okay, so there has been like various factors. I have two older sisters, and I saw them go to A.B. Miller High School and be part of the conservatory program. And I remember just being a little girl, going to the concerts and just looking at them and saying, wow, like I want to do that when I'm older. So that like kind of influenced me. I've always danced since I was like little too. It's always been a passion of mine. And the reason I just continue to be with the program is because of the growth, both like as a dancer and as a person. My sophomore year, I was first in rally work experience group, and it came with a lot of responsibilities. Like you're practically on your own. Like it's kind of like a job. Like an internship where you learn how to communicate with adults, how you learn to manage your time, and it just helped me a lot with my organization skills. And it's something that I know I can keep on growing with the program. So I have chosen to stay.
Okay. Some of you have already mentioned a lot about like time management. And I know that when like veteran conservatory dancers are in the program, they talk a lot about time management. So I guess maybe I am always wondering about like, or I would say that I would be wondering maybe about like, what's the schedule and like, what's all this time management talk? Like everyone says that, oh, you learn how to manage your time, but what is that about? Like, what do you mean by time management, or what's the schedule like? Faith, you look like you want to answer. Maybe not.
Wait,
Faith.
Ms. Robinson.
Yeah. Hi, Gianni. What's up? Do you want to answer that
Sorry,
question?
my headphones were acting up.
No,
I
it's
don't.
okay.
Yeah, I'll answer it. I don't know why no one can see me. No one can see me.
I don't know why. It's okay. We cannot. You were in the dark, son, and I didn't do anything to you to turn off.
I don't know why I'm in.
I
don't know why I'm in the dark, but just listen to my voice, I guess. Okay, so I feel time management is like a really big thing in conservatory, especially for me because I am literally the worst person to deal with time management in the world, and I'm really bad with it. And I also procrastinator with a lot of things, but being a conservatory, like there's no like ifs or buts about it. Like you have to turn things in on time, which will actually help you like when you're going through other stuff like classwork and stuff like that. And it really just helps in a whole, because after that, like I've been like, dang, like I really got to turn this in now or there's going to be some problems. So let me do it. And it's just really been helping me.
Yeah. What kind
of? Hear that?
Yeah, we could totally hear you. We just can't see you, but it's actually quite mysterious. Like it's just this black box in the center of the screen.
I don't even know.
I think maybe you might have turned off your camera. Maybe I don't know. Check it out while we're still talking. So what was? I'm going to ask this question. What was the thing that you were most surprised by that you totally did not expect getting into the conservatory? And what was the thing that has been the most satisfying? So that's a two-part question, like satisfying being like, gosh, I'm so glad I made this choice, but what was the thing that surprised you most? And that could be, you know, anything at all, like you weren't expecting as a total surprise about your experience. And then what is something that's been like completely like satisfying, like a gift to you?
I can go ahead and answer that one really quick. It's kind of similar to what I had said before with like the work experience groups. Like I had heard about it. Like I kind of also went into the conservatory thinking like, oh, we're just going to dance and we're going to have fun the whole time. Like this is actually like, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. And when I started with the work experience groups, I realized that like you start being like presented like real life problems and situations that you have to make like split second choices when you're dealing with like kids and when you're dealing with adults, and you have to problem solve in a way. Like Miss Robinson is always going to be there to like support you guys like behind the scenes, but when you go ask her for help, it's kind of like, well, what do you think you should do about it? It's you're given the like opportunity to learn how to figure things out. And I think that was surprising because I did not expect it to be like that. I don't know why. But something that was really satisfying to me that is like how you bond with other people, how just like the experiences and the memories that you make in the program are like one of a kind. It's something that you don't get in your regular 1 through 5th period, like high school life, I guess. Yeah.
If I think you were going to jump in there as well.
I was gonna say that what I was really surprised by, right?
Yeah, surprise.
I was really surprised. I was really surprised how, like Kelly said, like how emotionally attached you become with the other dancers. Like there's this thing that there's only dance, like that brings you guys together, and you guys can literally everyone in the program become so close, and there's just like this backup of family, and it's just so relieving that you have people that like can protect you, I guess you can say, but like you can talk to anyone, and it's just an open free space. As far as satisfying, I would say I have become like a whole different person, in my opinion. Like I'm happier, like I have so many more things to look forward to. Like in school, like my freshman year, I had just PE dance, and I was like, okay, I like this, but it was consumed by so much more like schoolwork. And now it's different because I have conservatory to look forward to. Like at the end of the day, I get to dance. Like it's just so relieving to have something that you love and like to do after being stressed all day from like a whole day of school.
That's cool. That's cool. And I mean, and I just piggyback on what the two of you were saying, like right as we were getting this live panel started, my computer just restarted, right? And there was never like, there was not a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, what, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Like I was just super calm, just let my computer restart, just because I completely trust you guys in terms of your like level of responsibility. And I don't know that a lot of teachers can say that about their students. Like if I hadn't gotten back on here, like for whatever reason, like there's no question that this would have been fine. Like I'm not even worried about it. So I think that that's, for me, just as a teacher, it's like a really cool thing that I have this group of students that is also working like adults, really, for the most part. Like that's, I think that's the really incredible part of it. So let's talk about what everybody wants to know about. So like, what kind of classes are we taking? Like, what do you actually do? Because I mean, we're hearing about time management, we're hearing about work experience, but I mean, the vast majority of the people that are watching this, they're like, their main goal in life, obviously, probably is to dance. So like, tell everybody a little bit about the classes that you are taking. Maybe one from a level 1 perspective, and then someone else from a level 2 perspective. I mean, they're the same, but slightly different. So maybe Tiana, you want to talk about level 1 a little bit, maybe?
Like the schedule?
Yeah, the schedule. What kind of classes do you take?
Okay. So we take ballet, jazz, modern, and hip hop. And for like level 1, we're really just like focusing on building technique and like performance. So starting like with basic things, like in jazz, we start working on turns and jumps and stuff like that. And in ballet, we're learning like the ballet etiquette, and modern floor work and like developing a flow in modern. And hip hop, we kind of have, well, we have hip hop with level 2 on Wednesdays, so it's conjoined. And then I think I forgot the schedule. We have hip hop by ourselves, like level 1 and 2.
Maybe somebody from level 2 talk about the difference between level 1 and level 2 too. Jenny? You're still on mute, I think.
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So yeah, we do have 4 different genres, and then for level 2, we mostly like focus on like knowing how to work well with others, and as well like showing who you are as a person, and also as a performer. And yeah, also working on your technique, building it up, and it's pretty much similar to level 1. But level 2, yeah, you really mostly work well like with how to work well with others, and yeah, technically, I don't know, I'm missing something.
Do you guys feel like you have a responsibility, or is there a responsibility to be well, like skilled in different genres? Like, and I know that everybody came in with a different like idea of what they wanted to do, but what are your thoughts about that? Like, do you feel like the program helps you be a little bit better balanced? Maybe Gianni can jump into that.
Okay. Am I good now? Can you guys hear
You're
me?
good. We can see you and we can hear you.
Okay then. Well, coming into conservatory, I really only knew how to do hip hop, and all I liked was hip hop, so I was just focused on hip hop. But then knowing that we had to do jazz, and then we had to do ballet, and then we had to do modern, it was like, oh my goodness, so much. But now, like, I could do way more stuff than I was able to do before. And it's just crazy because even like ballet, you wouldn't think that it can help you in hip hop in any way, but like all these other like genres really help in each other out in any other way. Like this genre needs this genre needs this genre, and it just has helped me like become an even better dancer and even greater dancer, because it really just helped me be able to do stuff that I didn't even know I was going to be able to do before. And yeah.
Yeah. I think though what you just said is really cool though, just about how each dance form informs another dance form. And so that's really what our goal is just for you to get a love of dance as a whole, not one particular type of thing. You know, I mean, I would consider myself a modern or a contemporary dancer, but I love moving. So for me, it doesn't matter. So I think that that's also the beautiful thing about it too, is just that you're able to explore other dance forms, and even some dance forms that you may not have even considered even at all. Anything else that you guys want to share about the conservatory, or things that maybe we haven't talked about before we open up for questions?
I would say that, like, coming into conservatory, you don't have to be the perfect dancer. Like, you don't have to be good at every single genre. Like, Gianni specifically, he's into hip hop and that's his thing. But he's learning different genres to help him with, like, to dance better. And for me, like, I'm not a great jazz dancer, and it's not upsetting to me because I know conservatory is to help us. Like, it's helping me do something that I love while also having fun. And you just improve by, even if like you don't want to do a certain dance genre, like you'll love it because it's dance. As long as you want to dance, then you'll love it.
How is your, actually that you saying that just made me think about a question that I wanted to pose to you guys. How has your like perspective about dance changed since you have been involved in the conservatory? Like how, you know, maybe think about yourself as a beginning dancer in PE dance compared to where you are now. Like, has there been any shift in your thinking at all?
I would say I definitely push myself more. Like Miss Gina, our ballet teacher, one time she said, come into ballet with the attitude that you're a classic ballerina. And shifting your mindset from like, okay, I'm doing schoolwork and I'm like math or something, into I'm a classic ballerina, like it makes you think that you're this whole other person, and it honestly does help you. Like I was doing bad in chemistry, for example, and I was like, okay, let me tell myself that I'm like a scientist. And all of a sudden, like I saw my grades going up. I just convinced myself that, okay, I can do this. And you just start improving.
I guess that kind of leads us into another place. What's the impact? What's the impact been on you in terms of academics? Because we all get this. What are you gonna do with dance? You can't spend your life dancing. What kind of job are you gonna get dancing? So what's been the impact outside of, you being a technician on your life? Like I heard Faith talk a little bit about, just changing her mindset, but had others of you want to share about like the impact it's had on you outside of the dance studio?
I'm gonna go for that one. I think that the same thing goes with Faith. Like I came into the dance program thinking that like dance is just only for performance pretty much, but it's really not that. Dance is also something like very internal that like you literally communicate yourself and your feelings through it. So it's much more than just movement. And like the discipline is like key to like the program, and like the fact that you can't just go into class and learn something and never go over it again. Like you sometimes are able to do that with like an assignment. Sometimes like, oh, you think you learned something in class and you never go over it because you understood it, but then you get to the homework and you're like, wait a minute, like I didn't practice this enough and now I don't get it because it's different like scenarios. I think that you don't only dance, or like this program, like you don't have to go into like the real world and become a dance teacher. Like the discipline and the work ethic you developed through the program can apply to any job or any like area that you want to go in like for your job, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Anyone else want to share just about how what changes or impact that you notice? I know, Tiana, you talked about being really, really shy, and I know that when I had you in class, like sometimes you wouldn't even make eye contact with me. But like, what differences are you seeing in yourself after a year?
I've grown like a lot more confident, like through work experience. I'm in the educational outreach team, and we have to talk to strangers about the dance community, and like I can do that now. Like I can talk to complete strangers and go on and tell them all the things that we have in our dance program, and it's just made me a more like responsible person too, because I have to be on my assignments, because I know that if I'm not doing good in school, I can't like get the privileges in dance because I'll be put on probation.
Shredded naughty kids list, yeah. Oh, let's talk about the naughty. Nobody wants to talk.
I could go ahead and talk about that one. I can.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Personal experience, unfortunately.
And then Johnny, I'll let you go next.
Unfortunately, my sophomore year, I was put on the naughty kids list. I was put on probation because truthfully, I wasn't doing well in school. And I like my mentality just wasn't the best then. Like I just really didn't have motivation. The effort I put in, what I did wasn't there. And I just didn't have consequences to like teach me my lesson. So I just went on and like I wouldn't do things and like it'd be fine until I got put on the probation list. And you have to turn in grade checks weekly to make sure that you are getting your grades up. And if you don't, you start getting consequences. Like my consequence was not being able to be part of the spring concert. The spring concert was towards the end of the year, and grades were about to close up, and I still haven't gotten them on during spring concert. During concert week in general, you are very busy. Tech week is very hectic because you are staying pretty late hours, and you have to be responsible enough to get as much work done as you can during school so that when you get home, you're resting, you're eating, and you're taking care of yourself. And I just wasn't doing that. So Miss Robinson decided that I maybe shouldn't be a part of something that was going to be time consuming. If I was already not doing my work, imagine now that I have a busier schedule and I have less time. And that was kind of a wake up call to me. Like that was like the consequence that really like opened my eyes and said like, wow, like I can't go in another year of dance and like lose that privilege and the opportunity to be like part of the concerts. So this year, like, it just really drastically changed it. Like I did my best. Like my motivation was like dance. And I was saying like, okay, like sometimes you would look at your assignments and be like, well, I kind of have a good grade. So technically if I don't do it, it won't hurt. But then like I start thinking like, okay, no, like we can't go through the same thing that we went through last year. You have to get it done either way. So it was just a really big help. And probation is no joke.
Gianni, I think you wanted to add something just about like life skills. Yes.
Oh yeah, well, because Kiana was talking about how she came in shy and stuff like that. I couldn't hear it. I don't know why I couldn't hear Kiana talk, but
she's still a little shy.
Yeah, when she came in shy, I came in like very energetic to everything. Like I was hyper and stuff like that. And if anybody knows me, like I'm a really hyper person and stuff like that. But then Miss Gina had to really teach me that I need to calm myself down, especially for ballet, because she'll come in and I would be like jumping all over the place, and then she would just be like, Johnny, come on, it's ballet. And then even the kids will tell me, like Vanessa and others that are in conservatory in level 1, like they would tell me, like they'll just look at me, they'd be like, Johnny, stop. And after a while, I was just like, dang, like, you know, I just need to like be able to calm down like different times and learn how to like control myself and stuff like that. So recently, like, well, when we were back in school, I was able to like be able to calm myself down. And even if I do like go off and like kind of get energetic, like I have my classmates to tell me that, like, Johnny, okay, I'll be, oh snap, you're right, all right, sorry, my bad. And it will help me. So it's been helping me on my like how energetic I am and when to control it and when not to control it.
To modulate yourself. That's the word, modulate. Be able to modulate yourself. Yes, like modulate. So I'm going to open the floor to questions. It looks like we have a question from Tiana. Hello, Tiana. Tiana wants to know what kind of specific skills do you learn in production management? And oh yeah, we have Faith. Faith's here from production management. So Faith, why don't you talk a little bit about the production management team? And then those of you that are watching, start typing your questions into the chat and we'll start answering them. So please, you know, and no question is a dumb question. So Faith's gonna talk with us a little bit about production management.
So for production management, like 2 words that I would describe it is like technical and organization. Like it's very specific, and mostly we deal with the theater, as in like putting lights away, putting up the Marley, which is the dance floor that we dance on for concerts, and doing lights for the stage and sound, but also like cleaning the theater. We like before the shows we do like we'll sweep and we'll mop the floor. We'll make sure that the green room where everyone gets dressed is clean, make sure everything is safe, tape down any like wires that are a hazard for the dancers. Just making sure that the theater is set so that way every dancer can be safe and perform to their fullest and their best. As far as like other stuff, we do RAD exams, and those are our ballet exams. But we make sure that everything, like the adjudicator, she has a table to sit on, and a table and chair so she can write, and just making sure that people have everything in order for events to run smoothly.
Oh, thank you. We have another question from Cassandra. Cassandra, hi, Kassandra Hernandez. We put her full name, Cassandra Hernandez. She wants to know, how do you find the inspiration to make dances or phrases? And I'm actually going to either default to either Kelly or Jennifer, because you guys just finished doing a huge project that we did virtually. So maybe one of you guys can share about choreography.
So me personally, what I find inspiring to make dances or phrases is just like the place that you're working at. For example, the last project that I was working on was in the outside, like there was trees and stuff like that, and just you just have to have that connection with the surrounding with that, like around you. So I was having connection with the trees. There's benches, like how can I connect with the bench? So like me sitting down, stuff like that. And then also very important to have connection with the other person if you're working with them as well. And it's just like depending on like the type of surrounding you're working in, and I guess like the songs, something like that. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Anybody else want to add anything else in terms of inspiration for choreography?
Yeah. Okay. I think that that's something also that I like always wondered, because I wasn't the best at like making choreography. Like I'd stay stuck forever trying to think of where to start. I think starting is like the most difficult part, but I feel like they also help you develop that skill like through all your genres in hip hop, in contemporary, in ballet, in jazz, because you take classes and you learn dance move and you learn like phrasing that you incorporate in your dances and in your own way. Usually when you make a dance, you tend to use what you're the strongest in. So like, let's say if I'm really good at a step, well, then I tend to use that step. And then like Jennifer said, like in contemporary, we learn different like perspectives and different ways that you can see things to help you like create dances.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have a question from Astrid. She wants to know what genres are the hardest for you and why. What genres are the hardest for you and why? You can all answer this actually if you want.
I want to answer.
Go ahead.
Can I answer?
Yes, do it.
Okay, well, for me, the hardest genre for me right now, I have to say, is modern. Just for me, because like modern is hip hop. Okay, hip hop for me is like it's a beat. It's like ooh ooh ooh, and you groove out to it, right? But modern, it's like the music is so abstract, and I'm so used to always being on beat and beat and beat. But for the modern music, it's just like something about it confuses my brain, and this makes it harder for me to catch on to the movement, even though it seems like it's simple. But like for me, it's just like, why can't I just do this movement like this? And it's been a struggle. And then also like modern, because my upper body strength isn't like the best. So even Miss Fraser tells me that I need to work on my upper body strength so I can get better at doing different moves and different types of techniques that require the strength to get it. And that's really a reason why modern is one of the most genres that I struggle in at the moment.
Anyone else want to share a genre that they struggle with?
For me, I would say modern as well, because you have to be very grounded. You need like you work a lot like in the floor. Miss Fraser, she likes doing like floor stuff a lot. So you need to like really like know how to like work well with the floor with your body. So yeah.
All right, we've got Vivian, and she wants to know what days do you practice and from what time to what time? Faith, you want to take that one?
Okay, normally like this year has kind of been like a little bit different because we've had hip hop more incorporated. But our normal schedule is on Mondays we do modern and jazz, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays we always do ballet with either modern or jazz. Sometimes it switches, and on Wednesdays we do hip hop. From Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, we have class from 6th period all the way to 4:30 usually, unless sometimes like you have rehearsal for tech week, or not tech week, for the concerts if you get into a piece, and that sometimes lasts longer depending on what time your choreographer has. And on Wednesdays we normally get out at, I don't remember the time, but it's much earlier just because
Wednesdays is 1:15. Yeah, 1:15.
1:15.
1:15.
I think it's 1:15. Yeah, on Wednesdays we get out like at 1:15. Just because it's a minimum day and we have hip hop, and normally we just do class all together, so it's less time consuming.
Yeah. And then just to piggyback on that, Vivian, so you have an 8-period day schedule, so that when you look at your schedule, you'll see 8 periods on there, and those 8 periods extend you into the time after school. And then each one of these dancers receives an extra 20 graduation credits for this program every year. So you have some of these folks on here that are seniors this year, and they've been in the program for 3 years. So they'll be graduating basically what we call a super senior. They'll have an additional 60 units attached to their graduation. Let's see. What goes into auditioning? I'll take this one because it changes all the time. But generally, Yazi, we're seeing you move in jazz, ballet, and modern. And then we generally ask you to do some type of solo work where you do a 1 minute solo, a style of your choice, something that you're interested in. That's generally what we do. We may also ask this year that we see a little bit of movement in hip hop as well. But we're basically looking for dancers that are interested in moving in all different types of ways. So that kind of is our process. Right now, because of everything that's happening, we're hoping for a live audition when we return back to school in August, if all is well. If not, we may be considering looking at a virtual audition that will happen closer to the end of July is what we're looking at right now. But those things are up in the air, just kind of depending on what happens. I mean, I think we've all gotten used to everything just being up. So we're going to take a question from Kassandra. What is the hardest obstacle coming into the conservatory and how did you get over it? Hardest obstacle to the conservatory and how did you get over it? Awesome. Got lots of thinking going on. You guys stumped them.
I can go. I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the hardest obstacles coming into conservatory was probably the perspective of what other people thought of me, like my friend groups. I have a bunch of friends and like they're mostly guys and stuff like that, and I always hang out with them during lunch. And like for me, I didn't want them to like figure out that I was part of the conservatory because it made me feel weird. Like, shoot, there's only a bunch of girls really in conservatory, and like I don't want them to think anything about me, anything like that. So like to me, I always hid it from them. Like they'll be like, "Where you going? Why are you always busy?" I'll be like, "Oh, I just had to do some stuff after school and stuff like that." Because I was just ashamed. Like, dang, like what they? I don't want them to think anything bad about me and stuff like that. And so after a while of being conservatory, like first semester, second semester, they kept telling me like, "How come you never want to hang with? How come you never want to hang? How come we can hang out? You're always busy doing this, and that." And then it just came to a point. I was like, "Dang, like shoot, I really do be busy a lot now and stuff like that." And I'm always busy after school. I can never do anything. And then I just went home one day and I was just thinking to myself like, "What do you love to do?" And I was just thinking, I was like, I like listening to music and I love dancing. Those are the two things I love the most. And not the most in the world, but like they're up there. And I really
Me
like
too. Me too.
They're up there. So I was like, well, why would you take that from something that you like to do? Like you love doing this. This is what you love. Why would you let anybody take what you love away from you? So I just had to think to myself, like, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. If this is what you want to do and this is what you want to pursue, then do it. It doesn't matter what they think. Doesn't matter what they think, because you have your family of conservatory members behind you to have your back through everything. And that's how I really got through it, just from my family and conservatory and just me pushing forward to know that this is what I want to do, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it.
And it's so awesome that your family is totally supportive, because I think sometimes that can be the other challenge, right? Is your family doesn't like get it, and your family doesn't get the amount of time that you're like spending doing the program. But I think, and even some of you that I'm looking at on this chat, like your families have transformed as being part of the conservatory. Like I'm looking at some faces right now whose parents like didn't necessarily get it, and now like their families totally get it and like think it's the best thing ever. So it's, you know, those can also be obstacles too, I think, as well. Let's see, Genesis, we'll bring up Genesis. Genesis wants to know, how do you find the time to do class assignments after school? Because I'm sure she's probably thinking, you just told me you guys spend your whole lives at school. So how do you have time to do the work? Kiana, I'd like you to take this question, because Kiana is in the conservatory, but she's also part of the Health Services Academy as well. She's a pretty smart cookie as well. So I think maybe that make it, and not that these other folks aren't smart cookies, because they are, but.
For me, I try to do assignments like during the day as well, like during lunch, or if there's free time in class, because I know like we stay pretty long. And when I get home, I try to do my assignments as soon as I get home because I know if I wait any longer, I'm just going to go to sleep.
Okay. Yes, I think we all have that issue. I like to go to sleep as soon as I get home too. Absolutely. Other questions out there that we might be able to answer? Other questions? Other questions? While we're waiting on that, so guys, dancers. So let's say that I listened to this chat today and I'm like, I'm in. These people sound incredible. I want to be a part of this family. What do I need to do? Like, what's my first steps? What do I do? What do I do if I want to just consider like starting this process? What's the first step?
I'll go ahead and say the first step, and then maybe my peers can follow up. The first step is going to be to fill out the online application. You can find it in my bio or any of the dancers' bios. You can also, if you're part of any PE classes or anything, or down there. Also, if you are a PE dancer, Dance One dancer, if you are already in the dance program in any way, you can find it on Teams. I'm pretty sure Ms. Robinson has also posted it. So first, just fill out the application, and then Ms. Robinson will take it from there and give you guys further instructions.
Yeah, and so then once what we do is we review your application. We want to make sure you got a 2.0 GPA. We want to make sure that you don't act crazy at school. If you had a past history of acting crazy at school and you don't act crazy anymore, that's fine. But we just don't want you to be crazy at school. We want to make sure you've got some pretty decent attendance. And then once you make it through that point, then we'll send you the information out about the next step, and that would be the actual auditioning process. And we have that information on the application. It's so funny. I'm looking at all these seniors in the chats talking about, can I apply? Can I come back? Like, no, you're done. But yeah, so that would be the next steps, is just to fill out the application. The application's not complicated. It's all questions about you. There is one section for your parents just to fill out, just so that they know that you are auditioning for the program. But really, and I think Faith may have touched on this before, and I will comment on it again. You guys, do you have to have a ton of experience coming into the conservatory? Did you have to have I'm asking all of you. You can shake your head yes or no. Did you have to have a ton of experience? No, not
for me, I only had experience from PE dance, and I know like Kelly, she was like in a dance company before, right? And it's just you don't really have to have experience as long as you've been in PE dance, like you can be in conservatory.
Yeah, absolutely. No experience at all. Oh, here we go. Here's another question. Was it difficult adjusting to your new schedules? Was it difficult from Yazi? Was it difficult adjusting to your new schedules? Anybody want to take that one? Yazi, I think they didn't have any difficulty adjusting. Oh, now you're muted again. Go back, Kelly. You were.
Okay. Am I muted now?
No, you're good.
Am I muted?
No, you're good. You're fine.
Oh, okay. Okay. What was I gonna say?
The question was it difficult?
Oh yeah. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe it's different for everybody, but for me personally. Oh yeah. Okay. So like at first, it depends for everybody because I would see my peers and they seem like they had it all figured out, but me personally, it took me a while. Especially because my junior year, I wanted to get all my like academics like straight. I didn't want like what had happened my sophomore year to happen. So I had 0 period Apex, and it was a pretty heavy schedule because I'd have to be there at 6:30 in the morning. I know Faith also had it for the beginning of the year, and then we'd end our regular schedule, our regular classes at 4:30 on a normal day. If you had rehearsals, you'd be leaving 12 hours of a 24-hour day at school. So it's kind of hard to adjust. It's like for me, I had to make sure that I had a breakfast in the morning, that I was getting my meals straight, I was getting enough sleep. But it just kind of took time. It's not like you're never going to get used to it. Like you will be able to like just get your like daily routine in your body, and it'll kind of become natural at one point, and you won't even realize it. And yeah, that's it. That was for me.
Absolutely. Anybody else have any difficulty? I think there's a shock on the body, right? Those of you remembering back to coming in from PE dance or beginning dance, there's a shock on the body. Going from a 40-minute dance class to 2.5, 3 hours of dancing. Maybe that really is what the question is about. Let's talk about that, like the shock on the body. Like they're all so shocked. They're so shocked.
Oh, okay, I'll do it. I got. Let me see. The shock on the body. So I would say the real shock happened when auditioning. That's when it hurt the most, like super badly. Like I was dying. This is the first day of audition. I remember going. I was like, "Oh, this is cool. Let me get a little stretching real quick. It's not gonna be too much." I stretched my little body, and I was like, "All right, Gucci, I'm good for the day." Then I wake up the next morning. I try to get up out of bed. I'm like, "What is this? What is this? No." And then I had to walk all the way to school for the next audition. I was like, I hope everybody feels the same way I do right now, because this is different. This hurt different. And I just walked in there and I see everybody rolling their legs out with the little thing. I was like, oh, okay. I see everybody have the same feeling I did. And yeah, it's like a big difference. I didn't know that it was going to be that much harder than PE dance, because I thought, oh, dancing is just dancing. Like you dance. It should be Gucci. But no, this was a different type of dance. Like I was dying after. Yeah, it was painful, and after a while, my body adjusted. But there's those workouts with Angelica that do be hurting still, and make you sore in the morning.
Angelica is our hip hop teacher, so she apparently tortures a lot of people, which we were not aware. I was not aware of. This is the director, but apparently lots of people are tortured in our class. So we have time for maybe one more question. If there's another question out there, one more question. And while maybe you're typing your question, of the 5 of you on this call, how many of you were afraid to audition? You were scared to audition? Raise your hand. Okay, right. Okay, great. So there you go. So there's some commonalities there. And then how many of you are involved in other things on campus? Another club, another something else? So anybody involved in something else? Okay, yeah. So just, again, these, I think those are always the questions that come up, or can you do this? Can you do that? Now, obviously, with the schedule that you just heard about, if you're going to want to play like softball or be on the football team, that probably won't work. You'll have to make a decision. But most of our other programs, yearbook, I think Faith is in yearbook, video production, HSA, ASB, a lot of those things, a lot of those other programs, they allow you're able to have that flexibility, but it really just all comes back to time management and thinking about what you can handle, because that's the thing. I think we all have this idea that we want to be involved in everything, but there's not enough time in the day to be involved in everything. So just really thinking about like, what do you want to dedicate your time to? And I think what Gianni said was great, just about this, if this is something that you love to do, then by all means, you should definitely pursue it. Any closing, I'll give everybody one closing statement to someone who is considering auditioning for the conservatory. One closing thought or statement to anyone that's considering joining the conservatory. And closing thought. I'm going to pick somebody. Faith, one closing thought.
Me? Oh, no, Faith.
Yeah, one closing thought or one closing statement to somebody that's considering auditioning.
I would say, even if you're scared, like, just do it. And let's say you don't even get it. Like, it sounds bad. But if you don't get in, like, at least you have the experience and you know what it's like you get a little taste of what you're into, if that makes sense. But everything in life that is new, like, you're gonna be at least a little bit scared. So in order to like overcome that fear, you have to experience it. So I definitely encourage you to audition.
Tiana, one closing thought or statement. It could be one word or it could be a sentence or even a paragraph.
To piggyback off of what Faith said, you just have to put yourself out there And you have to live by oh wells instead of what ifs, because you never know unless you try.
All right, Kassandra, we're kind of answering your question right now. Kelly, one closing thought or statement to somebody who's going to audition.
You won't regret it. You will not regret it. Just go for it. That's all I have to say. You won't regret it.
Gianni, one closing thought or statement.
I don't know about statement, but like just going with positive vibes, attitude. Don't let anybody intimidate you. Don't let anybody intimidate you in what you're doing. Just go in there, know what you want to do, know you want to do this, and you should be Gucci and fly right through. It should be like nothing.
All right, and lastly, Jennifer, one closing thought or statement.
All I gotta say is just believe in yourself, and I know I believe in you guys, and you guys could do it.
Sweet, perfect way to end this. Perfect way. Thank you so much you guys for giving up your time today to come on our panel. Thank you so much. If you have any questions about anything, please message myself on this radio. We're on Instagram at AB Miller Dance. And if you're on Teams, you already have our email. So thank you, panel, for being here.
Wait,
yes. Yeah.
Okay, Kassandra Hernandez. I emailed you a thing, and I just wanted to tell you I emailed you so you can like email me back about it. So yeah, that's all.
Cassandra, look at your emails. So you know all right, thank you everybody for coming today. Appreciate you all. Thank you, panel. You're the best. I love you guys. I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.